A federal appeals court has ruled that most of the global tariffs that President Trump has put in place are illegal.
Canadian government will now match the United States by removing all of Canada's tariffs on U.S. goods specifically covered under goods.
Canada's calm, collected, and quietly racking up wins. Trump's running around like a clearance sale blow-up doll in a hurricane.
Trump has been blindsided. Those were the whispers in Washington today as news broke that Canada just removed billions in counter tariffs on U.S. goods. Headlines made it sound like the trade war might finally be cooling down. But here's the reality. While Canada opened the doors for farmers, small exporters, and consumers, it slammed them shut on the industries that matter most: steel, aluminum, and autos. This wasn't a gesture of peace. It was a calculated move designed to make Trump look weak, divide American industries, and remind the world who really has the upper hand in North America's trade battles. Because as Trump celebrates short-term wins, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is playing a longer, sharper game. And the timing couldn't be worse. Just one day after a U.S. court declared Trump's tariffs unlawful. Tonight, we break down why Canada's decision is bigger than headlines suggest, how it could ripple through the U.S. economy, and why Trump's tough-on-trade brand may never recover. So what exactly happened today? On September 1st, Canada officially removed its 25% counter tariffs on a wide range of U.S. products. These tariffs had been imposed in retaliation for Trump's sweeping duties on steel and aluminum years earlier. They covered everything from orange juice to washing machines to Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Now those goods are free again. American exporters finally have a shot at reclaiming Canadian market share. Canadian businesses can import without being punished by price hikes, and consumers will see costs drop in grocery stores, hardware outlets, and showrooms. But here's the sting. Canada did not remove tariffs on three categories: steel, aluminum, and automobiles. These sectors are the lifeblood of U.S. industry. They're not niche markets. They represent millions of jobs, billions in exports, and the backbone of America's manufacturing identity. Think of steel. It's in every bridge, skyscraper, and pipeline. Without competitive steel, construction slows and costs skyrocket. Aluminum, essential for packaging, planes, cars, and even the green energy revolution: solar panels, batteries, electric vehicle frames. And autos, they're not just about Detroit. The auto sector touches Ohio, Indiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, and beyond, an entire web of suppliers, assembly lines, and dealerships. By keeping these tariffs in place, Canada sends a message. Farmers and consumers can breathe, but America's industrial heartland will continue to bleed. And politically, that's devastating, because it's precisely these industries, steel workers in Pennsylvania, auto workers in Michigan, that Trump has built his political brand on defending. For workers, this isn't an abstract policy fight. It's about jobs, wages, and stability. A plant that pays more for steel is a plant that cuts corners, cuts staff, or eventually shuts its doors. And for consumers, higher costs trickle down into car prices, home construction, and infrastructure. This is why Canada's move is so calculated. By easing pressure in some sectors while tightening it in others, Ottawa fractures American unity. Farmers might cheer, but auto workers are furious. Prime Minister Mark Carney framed today's rollback as a restoration of fairness. According to him, free trade has now been restored for over 85% of Canada-US commerce. But look at how Canada has chosen its battles. By lifting tariffs on consumer goods, Carney positions himself as the leader who cares about households, prices, and stability. But by keeping steel and autos blocked, he holds leverage exactly where it hurts Trump the most. This is classic Canadian trade strategy. Back in 2018, when Trump first slapped tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum, Ottawa didn't just retaliate randomly. They went after politically sensitive goods: bourbon from Kentucky's Mitch McConnell, ketchup from Heinz factories in Pennsylvania, motorcycles from Wisconsin. Each tariff was chosen to hit Trump's allies where it mattered, at home. Now, let's talk about Trump. The timing of Canada's move could not be worse for him. Just yesterday, a federal appeals court ruled that his sweeping global tariffs were unlawful. In a 7-4 decision, judges declared he had overstepped his emergency powers. And the court hinted at something even shocking, that Washington might have to refund up to $100 billion in duties already collected. Think about that. Trump's tariffs, marketed as a tool to protect American workers, may not only collapse in court, they could cost the government tens of billions of dollars in refunds. And on the very next day, Canada swoops in, lifts tariffs on most goods, and looks like the adult in the room. U.S.-Canada trade clashes aren't new. In the 1980s, lumber disputes rocked the relationship, with Canada accused of unfair subsidies. In the 1990s, dairy fights escalated under NAFTA. In the 2000s, softwood lumber was a flashpoint again. And in 2018, Trump reignited the fire with steel and aluminum tariffs, sparking one of the largest trade spats in decades. Canada has scored a short-term diplomatic win, no question. Trump looks weaker today than he did yesterday. But the bigger story is whether this signals the beginning of the end for his trade war or just another bloody chapter. Will Trump double down, lash out, and impose new tariffs in defiance of the courts? Or will he be forced to retreat, refund billions, and face the political humiliation of a failed trade strategy? For Canada, the path is clear. They'll keep pressing where it hurts, steel, autos, aluminum, while loosening where it helps consumers. For the U.S., the choice is chaos or compromise. And right now, compromise doesn't seem to be in Trump's vocabulary. What do you think? Did Canada just outmaneuver Trump? Or is this just another skirmish in a trade war that has no end in sight? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And remember, this is EconoClash, where we cut through the noise to bring you the real story behind the headlines.